Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Elite City Podcast. It is the old school crew yet again. It is also our Forbidden Door preview, so we'll be giving you our opinions here in a minute. But before we get started, just like to say follow us on social media, Elite City Pod everywhere. So, are you getting excited for Forbidden Door, sir?
I am. I'm also getting excited to tell people to like and share and subscribe and get notifications. I'm very excited about that. That's the most exciting part.
As you should be.
I am excited for Forbidden Door. Yeah, it does feel a bit less forbidden these days because it's happened a few times. But it's going to be a good show. It's there. Like every single time AEW has a pay-per-view, there's a part of me that's just like, maybe I won't get this one, and then I get it, and then it's outstanding. Like every single time, like they're all good. So it's going to be good.
Yeah, and this one is like, it's the fun show. Like there are storylines, but they're not really. I mean, they are, but they are.
Storylines are the ones that have already been like on TV for a long time. They're not like the quote unquote Forbidden Door ones, but like that's cool. Yeah.
So, but before we get started, we want to send our best wishes out to good old JR. He dealing with some health issues this week. So, Jim Ross, tip to the cap for you, sir. I hope you get well soon.
Yes, for sure. He said he was hospitalized, which didn't sound good. He had difficulty breathing or something. So
so
that didn't sound very good.
So
like best wishes to JR. JR, like he does add a certain, like whether you're not, you can say like, oh, his commentary isn't at the level that it once was. That's fine, but like he adds like a level of not just nostalgia, but like he makes every moment seem like a big deal. Like when Swerve won the title and he was like, Swerve, Swerve, Swerve. Like that was cool to have JR call that moment.
Yes. Yeah. It's, I mean, like you said, it's more than nostalgia. He knows when to just put that little influx in his voice and it gets you pumped. Just that, like, he's so subtle, but yet he knows that he's controlling you.
And it's the voice, like for our generation and for many generations. I mean, he's been around a long time. He's like the voice you associate with wrestling. Like, even though like when we were like, we're slightly older than probably the people who've only heard JR. Like we remember, Bobby Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon and Vince McMahon and them all do commentary. But like JR was still like the wrestling to us. Like that's the sound you associate with wrestling. And I think that's still true. Like even though he doesn't do it as often anymore, he's still like the established sound of professional wrestling. So yeah, best wishes to him. He's had a lot of health stuff in the last little while. So
so get well soon, Jim, and hope to see you on TV before long.
Yes.
Now there was also a little, I don't want to say it's a rumor.
I believe it started from JR, did not?
Yeah, it was on his podcast.
Yes.
As crazy as it sounds, there's apparently some interest of Shane McMahon wanting back in the wrestling business, but not where he used to work.
We've talked about this, off the podcast.
Yeah.
I don't want Shane McMahon to be a wrestler. I don't want even Shane McMahon to be like an on-screen person very often. But just the absolute insanity of Shane McMahon being on a non-WWE wrestling show, any non-WWE wrestling show, and especially an AEW wrestling show, is so mind-boggling that if it's an option, I want to see it happen, because just a McMahon being on AEW is incredible, and Shane is like the one you'd want if you're going to have a McMahon. So that would be cool. That would be cool.
And I said to you, like, perfect storm scenario if they would sign him. Don't announce anything. Just have the show start with every person that was ever fired by WWE on the stage. Have him come out. The crowd is stunned. He just lets them get the reaction. He just puts the mic up to his mouth and says, "You're welcome," and just walks away.
I'm telling you, if they ended the last like Collision or whatever before All In, with just like all they did was like cut to the back, or Shane McMahon walked out on the entryway and did nothing else, they would get so many ratings. the next, like everyone would buy that pay-per-view just to see what is Shane McMahon. Even if Shane McMahon like didn't promise to do anything, even if he was just there,
right?
You'd be like, I have to see what's going on with this. Like, and I know AEW is a wrestling program, right? It's not as much of a storyline driven program, not as much of a spectacle driven program as WWE is, but like they still want buy rates, they still want ratings, they still want attendance. And I mean, he's gonna get them. I'm not saying like I don't want him wrestling, but like that would be cool. It would just be insane to have him. It would be like that time, and not even like that. It'd be better than that. The only comparison I have is the time when Eric Bischoff came out on Raw.
Yeah.
That was like, oh my God, I can't believe that this is happening. I never expected to see this.
Yes.
But at that point, WWF had already bought WCW.
Right.
So it was shocking, but it wasn't that shocking because they'd already bought the company. Whereas this is like WWE is still there. His family still has stake in it. Right. So.
And just, I mean, that is one of those things that it would be the most pro wrestling thing to happen. Like the estranged family, the son goes and works for the rival company, and it just like unreal. But
yeah, I think it'll happen. I think it's very unlikely to happen, but it would be. I mean, they're at least talking about it. Tony Khan even mentioned it. So
that's what I was just going to say. With Tony Khan acknowledging it, that means that there's at least a sit down or a emails exchanged or going to be exchanged. Like there's at least some talks.
Part of that was him being the promoter, being like, you never know, better watch AEW because you never know what's going to happen. Like I know part of it was that, but he's smart enough to know that if you kind of tease something like that, you have to at least think about it, right? Like if he teased it and people are like, oh, I would like to see that, then he's like, oh, he's a promoter. He's like, oh, maybe people do want to see that. Maybe I should. Yeah.
Right.
It's not likely. I think it's very unlikely, but it's not impossible, which even the prospect of it sounds insane. So
you hit the nail on the head right there. It's like it's in the cards, but still the fact that it can happen is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like,
it's insane.
It's like the weirdest double-edged sword ever.
And I mean, it all could go terribly, right? But I don't want to see it.
Right.
I don't run AEW, so I don't care if like he's bad backstage or whatever. Like it doesn't matter to me. It'd be good TV.
Because it's almost one of those situations. Like if it's a train wreck, it's kind of better,
right?
Like, for TV, you don't want people to bad work environment.
Like a lot of people have on the internet of like, oh, I care about what AEW's backstage is like. And I get it. I kind of get it because like you don't want it to be chaos because you want the company to do well. And if backstage is chaos, the company's not going to do well. I get that. Just like caring about ratings or caring about buy rates or caring about attendance. Like you care about those things because if people are going to the shows, that means AEW is going to keep making shows. Like I get it.
Right.
But in the other sense, like I don't work for this company, so I don't really care. Right. Like, as long as they make good TV, I'm fine with that. Like, have it be great. Like it turned out to be a trade wreck, but CM Punk with the muffins, like just spouting off at people, great TV. It didn't work, but I watched it. And it blew up horribly. But hey, that's the risk you take, right? Like,
it's that weird double-edged sword. Well, if that happens, it'll be incredible. But
I mean, that's the forbidden door right there.
Yeah,
man showing up. That's forbidden.
Yeah. That's all you could say. Yeah, it would be interesting.
What I wanted to say was, if we're gonna go under the forbidden door card, I like this. Before the show, you were talking about how like, oh, I saw the forbidden door card and it was different on 2 different websites, and neither of us thought, hey, let's look at AEW's official website because they might have that information. So first of all, the fact that we didn't think about it shows how bad their website is. Second of all, I did just look at AEW's official website, and when you go to AEW, about halfway down the page, there's a giant banner for Forbidden Door that you click on, and all it says is Forbidden Door, Long Island, New York, June 30th, UBS Arena, Long Island, New York, 7:30. AEW is coming to Long Island for Forbidden Door live on pay-per-view. That's it. And it's a video. There's no card. There's nothing.
Not even like a link for tickets?
Oh, there's a link for tickets. Sorry, yeah. There's a link for tickets.
Okay.
There's a link to buy tickets,
that.
But they don't tell you who's going to be on the show.
Cool.
In any capacity. So good for them.
The website's so bad.
I mean, I get it. I get that like we're in like a social media age where everyone checks Instagram or whatever to get their stuff. I get that. But like you own a website. It's not hard to just like whatever you were going to post on Instagram, just also post it on the website. Like that's not
right. It's yeah.
If I know they probably made graphics that they're going to put on Instagram or X or whatever it is. They're going to put them on, right, to promote the card.
Mm-hmm.
Just also add those to your website. It takes 10 minutes, if that.
Right. It's not even like.
I like because you went to take a drink because you thought my rant was going to go longer.
Yeah, I coughed actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I just assumed that you thought this was going to be a longer rant, but I'm trying to restrain myself.
No, I coughed, and then you called me out on it. So
your website is bad, AEW. It's bad. Just update it. It's not like it looks okay now. Like they've made it looks fine. Like it looks fine. It's not outstanding or anything, but it's a website. Whatever, it's fine.
Right.
But like just update it. Like just you clearly have someone who runs the website because like they add new shows to it and like someone's doing something. Like just put the card on the website.
Yeah, especially like 3 days before the show.
Right, because we honestly thought, oh, where do we get the Forbidden Door card from?
Yeah.
And it wasn't the AEW website. It was somewhere else.
Yeah, it was not even on my radar to check the AEW website.
No, honestly. It should be because it's not there. You were right to assume that it's not going to be there because it's not.
Well, speaking of the two cards, one involves a trios match with Hook, Joe, and Shibata versus Jericho, Big Bill, and a possible mystery partner, or Jericho versus Minoru Suzuki.
That really confused me because I watched Dynamite late and I watched half of it on Wednesday and I watched the other half on Thursday. It's Thursday we're recording, so I watched it before we recorded the podcast. And before we came on, you said, hey, did they make that match official? And I just watched it like half an hour ago. And I don't know. Like I have no clue. Because they said like Suzuki challenged him to a match in that video.
Yeah.
But then Joe and Hook and Shibata came out. And then as they were leaving, Excalibur said like, oh, the learning tree doesn't have a partner. And like, they don't need a partner, do they? Aren't they?
Yeah,
isn't it an FTW match? Jericho and Minoru Suzuki?
That's what I thought. Yeah, for the FTW title. That's what I thought, but one website still had the trios match, and it was updated like later than the other. So I thought maybe that wasn't like, I don't know.
Is there a chance AEW doesn't know?
That could be. They're waiting for the website to tell them.
I mean, not to make this a whole ragging on whatever thing, but like we love AEW. We obviously do because we have a podcast about it. So like anyone's thinking like, oh, you guys hate me. No, I dedicate an hour. We both dedicate an hour a week to do this podcast. So like clearly we care about this company. We watch the shows, but like they do have a lot of weird little problems, like not telling you what the match is, right? Like. It's not a huge deal. Like it's fine. The match, whatever match happens. It's not. That's not the match that's going to make you buy the show or not buy the show. So it's fine. But it's weird. Just why did you not just tell us what the match is?
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Like you just said, this isn't. I mean, it's the FTW title. Whatever. It's not. It's barely on the marquee. Well, even if
Yeah, it's like we don't know if Swerve against Ospreay is happening, like that.
Yeah,
but it's still weird.
But still, it's a pay-per-view. 3 days before the show, people shouldn't be asking, is it a trios match or singles? Like that's not even in the same ballpark.
And they said both on Dynamite. Like both things happened on Dynamite.
Yeah. So, for our game, for our pay-per-view game, we'll make it an FTW match. And if it's a trios match, it's no, it's no harm, no foul, because we both will miss it anyway.
Yes.
But I picked Suzuki winning.
Oh, okay. Yes. I picked Jericho because it's Jericho. It's first,
right.
It's going to be Jericho. But if Suzuki winning would be much more interesting.
Well, the reason that I say that is Forbidden Doors, the card that, you know, a lot of the people that go through the Forbidden Door don't do well. This is the first year that things can go both ways and they'd make sense. Like, okay, it's the FTW title. If Suzuki wins that, I mean, it's a very minor title on AEW TV. It wouldn't hurt. I mean, Chris Jericho is Chris Jericho. You know, it wouldn't necessarily hurt him to lose it. So, and there's a couple other ones throughout the card. So
and Suzuki's, when the last couple times he's come over for Forbidden Door, he's kind of stuck around for a little bit. He stayed for like another couple weeks and had some matches on Dynamite or Collision or whatever. So like if they wanted him to drop it 2 weeks from now, they could do that.
Right. You know, so that's just
that would be a lot more interesting if he won. I would like to see him win. I just don't think he will, but I would like to see it.
Like I said, there's a few this year that it can go either way. So, that's why I'm picking him. But if it's, I can see your way too, like to forward the, you know, I don't necessarily enjoy the Learning Tree storyline, but a lot of people seem to be. So keeping the belt on Jericho, I guess, makes sense to give him segments every week, but I don't know.
Because he needs the segments every week. He's got to have them.
Yeah, 100,000%. Now, there were also, again, that I didn't add to this. There's also 2 or 3 matches on the pre-show. And again, why the internet would get mad at this. This is going to be, I'm going to get on my soapbox here for a minute.
All right. I'm enjoying that.
Yeah. They're free matches that are very good matches. To not bring WWE into this, but since they've been the only company for a million years, their pre-show matches are pre-show matches. They're glorified dark matches. They're not good. AEW, like one of the pre-show matches is the Lucha Brothers versus 2 other luchadors from CMLL. Like, that's going to be an incredible match. And people are like, well, they screwed the Lucha Brothers. They're on the pre-show. Like, no.
It's Mystico in the Lucha Brothers. I didn't even notice that. That's cool.
See? And the internet's mad because that's on the pre-show. No, that match is going to be an awesome free match that everybody's going to get to watch.
And the point of those matches is to get the crowd involved, get the people. Maybe you are a person who's like, I don't know if I'll order this show, and you watch the pre-show, or like the people in the arena, you want to get them hyped up, you want to get them excited. So that's cool.
Yeah, like the internet was so angry at both pre-show matches because they felt that it was
angry. I don't know.
I know
that doesn't sound like the internet to me.
Well, believe it or not, the internet's a very toxic place.
I thought it was very calm and rational.
Sometimes, only when you go on that Twitter place.
Yeah, they do a great job.
Yes, but yeah, we'll move on before we get into the horribleness of Twitter. MJF versus Hechicero.
Oh, they also added Mariah May and Saraya to the pre-show. That's cool.
Yeah, that was the other match. Everyone was mad at that too.
That's one where I could see kind of being upset because it's an Owen Hart tournament match, but like the card already has like a million matches, so that's fine.
And again, it's a match that means something. Like,
right,
you know, it like,
it's better to have matches. If the pre-show was random thrown together matches that meant nothing,
right,
that would be, first of all, people would also be mad, and
right.
and that would be worse because I wouldn't want to watch them. Like this, now I will watch that.
Yeah.
Whereas if it was just nobody's or just 2 random competitors, then I'd probably not watch it. So
and the way that they've been doing it, like the first half hour of the pre-show is usually RJ and Renee doing like they'll like run like a little video package, come back, maybe do like an interview, and then the matches start at the last half hour of the matches. And then it goes right into the pay-per-view. Like, it's a very cool setup. It goes by quick. It doesn't feel like an actual pre-show. So I hope they keep that up.
Yeah.
But MJF versus Hechicero. I have MJF. because I don't think he's going to lose his first match back after.
No, especially not in Long Island.
Yeah. I mean, we probably both agree on this.
Yeah, I also have MJF. I can't see, like, something horrific would have to happen for him not to win, unless they have either he gets injured or they have some like crazy storyline.
That's what I was just gonna say. Like, yeah, because him losing there would be insane, but not after just coming back. Like, no.
Yeah, unless like it turns out, Adam Cole is cleared or something and he comes out.
Well, yeah.
That's the only, but like I still don't see it. I still don't see MJF losing.
Agreed. Now this is an actual trios match between the Elite which is Okada and the Bucks versus Tanahashi and the Acclaimed. Are we starting to see Billy Gunn wind down?
Yeah, I think so, and that makes sense. Like, it's cool
totally.
If he's around, but he should be on, like, if he's gonna wrestle, he should be on like a occasional wrestling thing, not a regular wrestling thing.
Yeah, and it's like I have nothing behind this. I bet you this was like him saying, "Come on, this is about you guys now." Yeah. My name's made. My name, like, you don't need me in this match. Like, and I'm good for him. And Tanahashi's Tanahashi. I mean, you're going to get to see Okada and Tanahashi in a ring together.
That'll be fun.
Exactly. I have the Elite winning.
Yeah, I have the Elite winning too.
Nice.
I was a little thinking, Tanahashi's probably not going to come back and lose right away, but I think he probably will, because like he's made, right? He doesn't need. He's a guy like Jericho, right, where like you don't have to win matches. It's fine.
And go ahead. I'm sorry.
And yeah, I'm just saying, like the Elite lost to the Acclaimed,
right?
So the Bucks lost to the Acclaimed recently, so I think this is going to go the other way to continue this feud.
And if you notice, the Acclaimed dropped the little hint, just you don't know when we're gonna, like, basically when they're gonna cash in.
Yeah,
I could see them, like, Tanahashi getting pinned and them being in the ring, like them would have been like the Acclaimed would have been outside of the ring. They grab a ref and like they're in the ring celebrating, and just boom, they hit them and then get the ref to count 1, 2, 3.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, but I don't know if that happens as a pay-per-view, because there's more things that could happen with the TNT title.
Yeah,
we're going to get there in a minute.
I think they try to stretch the Acclaimed Bucks match to Wembley,
and that makes sense. But it would be cool to have a nice little swerve.
Yeah, that'd also be cool. But yeah, I think the Elite wins. I don't think Okada hasn't lost yet.
Correct.
Right? So I don't think this is going to be where he loses.
And we have which will be our second Owen Hart Cup tournament match of the evening. Danielson versus Shingo Takagi. If I said that wrong, I apologize. This is my other wild card match. This is another one where I'm going to give it to New Japan. I think Shingo beats Danielson because, again, Danielson doesn't need to win. I know the story is him at Wembley, but he also said that he wants to finish in Wrestle Dream, which is in his hometown. So if he wins the title, I think he wins it at his last match at Wrestle Dream.
Yeah, I could see Danielson. I picked Danielson.
You did?
I'm going to pick Danielson, yeah.
Okay.
But I can see him losing because it's Danielson, and I think he likes losing. I think he likes putting other people over and making them look cool. So I could definitely see him losing. I could see him saying, like, let New Japan have a win because whatever. But no, I think Danielson wins, but I wouldn't be shocked if it went the other way.
This was kind of like a toss-up, but this was one of the ones, like, I looked at it like you. It could go either way, and if it goes the New Japan way, that is kind of the curveball.
Yeah, and I could see Danielson agreeing with that. I could see him thinking, like, we want people would be so surprised, and it would make New Japan look good, and then we can have another match later on or something. Yeah.
Yeah, or maybe he wrestles Danielson again, and he puts the stipulation on the line, like, to I don't know. He somehow gets a rematch with the champion, like something.
Yeah. Now, this is slightly off topic, but slightly related. Do you think Danielson should be more selfish as a wrestler? Like he should want to win more?
Sometimes I do, but he is so over. It doesn't matter. Like,
yeah, I agree.
I would like to see him. I really would like to see him win the AEW title before he's retired or goes part-time or whatever. But I don't know, like he loses a big pay-per-view match and then the next week on Dynamite his music hits and the place goes bananas. So it's like
he can lose as much as he like, it doesn't really matter. You're right. Yeah. He can also be a heel or a face whenever. Yeah. Like he can just decide that he's going to be, and it just works.
Yeah.
I would like him to win the AEW title too, just because, not for him, just it would put over the AEW world title because he's such a great wrestler. And he's such a, like, when you think of the last 20 years of pro wrestling, he's like one of the big names. He's the guy that everyone watched in Ring of Honor. He's the guy that everyone wanted in WWE. Like he's not only a big name, but he represents like the new generation of wrestling, sort of like the smaller guy, the more technical guy, the more athletic guy. So him winning the AEW title would elevate that belt. Not that the belt needs elevating, but it would elevate it.
Correct. Yeah. So I think you're probably right, like that he will win it, but I wish he would be a little more. I guess now that you say, I guess I wish he would be a little more selfish sometimes.
I can see there's probably been arguments backstage where Tony Khan is like, okay, so we want you to win this match. And he's like, no, I think I should lose. And Tony Khan's like, no, just win the match. He's like, no, I don't want to. It'd be more fun if I lost.
Right. Yeah. It's like his run in AEW has been amazing and super fun. But as far as like titles go, but like, again, he doesn't need it, but the fans do. That makes more sense.
Yeah,
I hope he sees it for the fans.
Yeah. And he's a guy who likes to give something back. That would be giving something really, like, giving something back to not a specific wrestler, but it would be giving something back to the company, giving something back to the fans. Like it would be something that everyone would remember. So I hope it's like, I feel like Sting probably wanted to lose his last match, and I think that they kind of talked him out of that. It's the same sort of thing. Like Sting should just win matches because people want to see Sting win matches. I think Danielson should win sometimes because people want to see him win.
Yeah. Yeah. Like do the, you don't have to pull the curtain over the fans' eyes. Just give them what they want.
Right. Yeah.
Speaking of giving the fans what they want, the women's world title, Timeless Toni Storm versus Mina Shirakawa. As we talked about last week, this is my all-time favorite. I think this is the best and my all-time favorite Forbidden Door storyline.
This is one of my, like I think I said last week, this is one of my favorite feuds in recent memory.
Yes. It makes sense. It's just, there's levels to it.
Now you've noticed that like Tony started off not caring about Mariah May. And then Mina showed up, and then Tony, like, you could tell, kind of got possessive of Mariah May, and like, well, I like her too. And then now it seems like Tony cares about Mariah May more than Mina does, because Mina hit Mariah in the head by accident, and then was just, didn't really like, wanted to fight Tony. Right. Whereas Toni Storm wanted to check on Mariah May. So now it seems like Tony cares more about her than Mina does, which is a wrinkle that I didn't expect, but I like.
Agreed. I think Tony, this is, excuse me, this is what I have exactly written down. Tony retains, but she loses Mariah May. I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, I could see that, especially because Mariah May's in the Owen. My prediction for the Owen still is that Mariah May wins it and faces Toni Storm.
That would be awesome.
So that would make sense. That she wins the title. Yeah, she wins the title, but she loses Mariah May, and now is she happy or not?
Right.
Like she's happy that she won the belt, but now she lost her friend, mentee. Yeah, that would be cool. I would like that. I want that to happen now.
Well, who are you picking so I can write this down?
I'm gonna pick Toni Storm.
Okay, so both Toni Storm.
I also want to say I haven't seen Mina Shirakawa wrestle that much, like other than the few times she's been at AEW. Mm-hmm. Her on Dynamite, she was really good.
She's really good, yes.
Like the match on Dynamite she had, like she's a good wrestler. She's a good like personality. She has a good gimmick. She like works the crowd. She's really good.
Yeah, it's like she's like next level all around wrestler. Like
yeah,
she's around.
She's a good all around wrestler. Like there's a lot of wrestlers who are good wrestlers, a lot of wrestlers who have good personalities, but she's both.
Yes,
which is really cool.
Yeah, yeah. Like even her
match. This has been a great storyline. It's kind of I feel like it's ending, but I kind of don't want it to end because I think they could do more with it.
I 100% agree with you. Like I think that excuse me. I think that I don't I don't want it to drag on, but it could go on for at least another month, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, if it went to Wembley, like it would be fine.
Yeah. I could. Yeah, end of summer would work.
Yeah.
Oh man, if they could stretch that out somehow, or maybe even have her come back.
Oh yeah, like have her leave and come back later. That'd be cool. Yeah, I like it. I like the storyline a lot. It's been really good. They've all been good in it. Like they're all obviously good wrestlers, but they've all played their characters and their roles really well too. It's been really good.
Yes, I'll agree 100%. TNT title ladder match. Now we're going to be on this topic for a while because this one has a lot of wild cards in it.
Yes,
it is. So far, it is Takeshita, Mark Briscoe, Jack Perry, Dante Martin, Lio Rush, and an unnamed. So the surprise. Do you have a guess on who the surprise is for like a bonus point?
No, I don't even know if is the surprise a surprise, or is it like they're gonna book something. I know.
I don't know.
So like, are they gonna book something on Collision, or they book something on the pre-show that qualifies for it, or is it an actual surprise that I don't know. I don't really. I never thought of that. I don't have a pick. Do you have a pick?
No, I didn't. I just literally thought of it right before I was like asked you. But. There's so many people just without the wild card in it that could win it, and it makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm picking Jack Perry to win it, but I have a feeling that either Takeshita, Lio Rush, or the wild card could also win it.
Yeah, I mean, it would depend on who the wild card is,
right?
Because, I mean, that I didn't even think of that. I like Lio Rush being back. I think that's cool that he's back.
Yes.
I'm gonna pick Jack Perry as well because I think this is leading towards the Elite having all the titles for at least a little bit, so they can brag about having all the titles. But yeah, I could see Takeshita. If it's not Jack Perry, I could see Takeshita, but I think it's gonna be Jack Perry.
Yeah, same here. But like that, the whole wild card thing.
Malachi is the wild card because he's the one who hurt. And not hurt him, but it was in the match with Adam Copeland where he got hurt.
True. Oh, that'd be awesome.
That'd be fun. I could see him being like, "No, I should be here because I'm the last one who wrestled for the
right."
Yeah.
The TNT title is like such an odd title. It's either like an incredible title on like an incredible person, or just kind of blah. Like, you know, it's just
it's weird because you don't know where to place it. Like now they've kind of established since Orange Cassidy had it, they've kind of established the international title as like the second title, like the right below the world title. It's the one where you defend it a lot and like you have to be a really resilient, resourceful wrestler to have that belt. They've kind of established what that belt is. They haven't really established the continental title, but it's also kind of new, so fine.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. The TNT title is either like, oh, Christian has it and it's up there. It's like a title that people want, or who has it now? Like, does it exist? Like, it's weird.
And just thinking about the wild card, how sick would it be if it was Darby?
Yeah, that'd be fun. Fun. What if it's Wardlow and then he just loses it immediately because it's Wardlow and that's what he does? Yeah.
He trips and falls off the top of the ladder. And someone spins him.
Yeah, he comes out and wins it, and then somehow he gets pinned, and you don't even know it's a match. Right. Just he loses the belt, and then you don't see him again for 3 months.
Right. And then he comes back as someone's enforcer and just looks angry.
Yeah. Now, Tony Khan, if you're listening, we're being sarcastic.
Yes.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
That is a bad idea.
Yes, please do not do that to Wardlow.
Yeah, poor Wardlow.
The IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. between Mox, who is the champion, and I'm just going to call him Naito because I can't pronounce his first name. I'm just going to be honest. This is my other wild card. I think Naito wins. I think Mox loses the belt.
Yeah, I think Naito might win too because New Japan has to get their belt back somehow.
Right.
Like Mox is just going to have it forever. And I mean, this makes sense for a time to lose it. I don't know who else in New Japan would win it if it wasn't Naito. I don't know enough about their current roster to know who it would be if it wasn't right now. Like, is there like a big money match that I'm missing out on that they're going to have at like a New Japan show? I don't know, but
same.
They do have to lose. They do have to get the belt back sometime, and this seems like as good a time as any.
Yeah, I agree. It's if I'm not mistaken, I think he is also a former IWGP Heavyweight Champion.
Yes,
too.
I believe he is.
So, I mean, it wouldn't be like, because that belt over there is really big. Like, if he would be like a second or third time champion, it wouldn't be that big of a deal for him to win it in the States.
Right.
Like
if it was someone's first title, you want it to be on like a big New Japan show where it'd be like a big moment for them. But yeah.
So I don't think it really would hurt anybody. Like, so I don't know. I just picked Naito.
And it kind of gives New Japan something because they've you're right. They don't end up looking that good on any of these shows because what do you expect? I mean, they're coming to an AEW show, so they're not going to get necessarily put over that well all the time. And especially because guys like Okada and Ospreay are now in AEW.
Right.
New Japan needs something, and that would be a good thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Naito too.
Okay. And then this could be the sleeper of the night. Orange Cassidy versus Zack Sabre Jr. I keep going back and forth. I'm gonna go Zack Sabre Jr. to be different.
Yeah, you're not that different. I was also gonna go against Zack Sabre Jr.
Oh, sick.
Because I think they're kind of playing up like when Ishii came out on Dynamite and they were like, well, he hasn't lost all of his friends. I think they're gonna like kind of like put Orange Cassidy down and like, oh, everyone abandoned him. His friends left him. Now he lost his big match. Now he like, I think that's where they're going to go with him. Like he's kind of down on his luck. So I think Zack Sabre Jr. wins, and then they can maybe someone like Don Callis or Trent or something gets involved and messes that up. I don't know, but
I could see that. I also think Zack Sabre Jr. is going to be, whenever that contract is up, AEW bound too.
Yeah, that definitely feels like it because whenever he's around, he's in like it's following like the Will Ospreay trend where like they're gonna feature him really well and treat him really well, and then he's gonna like it here, and then his contract's up. Oh, how convenient. Oh, remember how much you liked wrestling here? And he's like, yeah, okay, I'll take a lot of money to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, nothing against Orange. Orange always has a good match. He always has a good run, but I even before you said the thing of like taking everything away from him, like I saw him losing the match, but I think they're going to do what you say, like just down on his luck. No matter what happens, he can't pull it off anymore.
Yeah. Because I think Orange needs something. He had his really good international title run, and then the second one wasn't as good. And then it's kind of just been like, he's like, I like Orange Cassidy. He's a great wrestler. Everyone likes Orange Cassidy. He has good matches. He's a good personality, but like he seems kind of lost. Like the feud with Brett's friends breaking up has been good. But he kind of needs a little bit of a change. So maybe he could be a bit more depressed or down on his luck or like change his attitude or something because hasn't been winning.
Yeah. I wonder, like, I mean, I know he's wrestled in Japan. I know he's in that Chaos group. I wonder if, him going over there, if he's as popular as he is here. That's, if he could take an excursion over there.
Could. I'm assuming he's relatively popular. I was thinking that is Ishii in Chaos?
I believe so. Yes.
Is there like who else? Like I know that was Okada's group, right?
That was Okada's group, right?
I don't know who else is in it now.
While you talk for a second, I will look it up real quick. So just
because I like them doing that where they had Ishii come out and be like, oh, everyone hasn't abandoned him, because everyone has abandoned him so far. So that was cool. I think that's where they're gonna take it, where he's like, he just has nothing. He was on the top of the world, a year ago, and he was international champion, and he had his friends, and he had whatever, and now he's like losing everything. And hopefully that doesn't just make him look like, wrestling has done that storyline before, where they're like, oh, we're gonna make this guy lose a bunch of matches and look bad, and all it accomplishes is makes the guy look bad. It doesn't actually like make a good story. So hopefully they don't just end up making him look like a loser. They end up like he has a good redemption story and ends up doing something. Because I don't know what to do with Orange Cassidy, because I don't think he's necessarily going to compete for the world title anytime soon. He can't go back to the international title because he's had that for so long before. Yeah. I'm not sure what to do with him. So maybe giving him some other storyline would be the solution.
Yeah. I agree with everything you said. Before we continue on the subject, there's actually a lot of AEW wrestlers in that are current members of Chaos.
All right.
Chuck Taylor, Lio Rush, Rocky Romero, Ishii. He's not AEW, but everyone knows who he is. The other ones I don't know, and I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce their names because I don't want to say them wrong. I've never heard of the other three on the current lists. So,
all right, that's So that would, I could see maybe do something with Chaos. Maybe do something there. I don't know, but it'd be fun. I want Orange to do something because I like Orange Cassidy a lot. I hope he does something interesting, and not that it hasn't been interesting, because he has, but I want him to be in like a good storyline, like a good in the sense of like lengthy and well formed, not good and like seems good, because I like the stuff they did with Trent. That was fun too. But
maybe that's what they do. They bring, like, you give Okada Orange Cassidy give us an Okada Orange Cassidy feud, like, over Chaos.
Yeah, and he hasn't, and Cassidy's never gone for the Continental belt, so that'd be cool.
Well, I was gonna say maybe not even for a belt, like for control of the group. Like that's just something different. That'd be interesting. He could have Chuck Taylor and Rocky on his side, and Okada could have the New Japan guys on his side. Oh, that would be fun. Okay. I want that to happen.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good idea.
Well, looks like we're gonna have our main event, the AEW World Championship. Swerve.
What about Mercedes?
Oh, I skipped a page. Sorry.
You skipped Mercedes.
The TBS title. It's Mercedes Moné versus Stephanie Valcour for the TBS title. I think we're going to agree on this one too. I have Mercedes.
Yeah, I have Mercedes. It seems like they've kind of booked. Not the match is not going to be great, because it is.
Right.
But they've kind of booked this to be like, oh, let's get her that title back.
Yeah, she's going to win the title that was the person it was created for.
Yeah. Yeah.
But with that being said, when she came to AEW, Mercedes, that is, she said she was going to start a global revolution. Okay, she's going to now have a title in Japan and a title in the United States.
Yeah.
Is she going to, like, literally get that WWE schedule back and fly between Japan and the United States all the time?
And that would be fun. I would even say it would be fun if she, like, went to, because Stephanie's from CMLL, right? She's not.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So that would be fun if she had a New Japan title in AEW, and then she went to Mexico and tried to get a title down there. That'd be fun.
That would be fun. She is officially the ambassador of 21st century women's professional wrestling.
Yeah.
And first off, good for her. And secondly, I don't think there's a better person to have that torch, and Mercedes is gonna do great things.
I really do want to see what she does after this, because she had her like first feud with Willow that was good. The problem with it was she didn't wrestle for a long time, but I feel like she wasn't cleared, so that's fine. Then she hasn't really had a real feud after that. Like, she's had this feud, but it hasn't really been a feud. It's more been like hype for a match, which is fine.
Right.
But I want her to be in like an actual feud with someone. I don't know. I don't even know who at this point, but I'm interested to see what she does next.
I think, like, again, going for the fan service, I think they'd have to give us Saraya Mercedes.
That would make a lot of sense, and I would like to see that.
Just because, like,
yeah,
we have to see that.
Yeah.
Now, just throwing this to you, I've been meaning to bring it up on a couple episodes, and I don't even know how far down the line this is, but when Bayley's contract is up, do you see her jumping?
Maybe I think she just signed a contract like a year ago or something. So I think she's there for a while. I mean, I could see it because like they're obviously really good friends,
right?
But they're also like normal human beings, so they're perfectly fine with like, oh, my best friend works for another company, and they're not weird about it. So
right,
Bayley's going to do whatever's best for her, and they're both going to be normal people about it and realize that like this is their job. And I would like to see it.
Same.
But I can't see it being like, of course she's going to go where her friend is, because I mean, a lot of wrestlers do that, but they're
you're right.
They're smart. So maybe they'll do whatever is best for them, and the other person will just like understand
that. And now that you say that, and both companies have been like, Bayley she was there when Mercedes won the TBS title. She was there. She was there for Mercedes' first not match at the takeover in Boston. Yeah, takeover in Boston. So with companies letting them do that, especially for like big moments like that,
everyone seems to kind of like let them be too. Like when I think Mercedes was at WrestleMania because Bayley had a title match,
right?
So like that, and everyone's just kind of like, yeah, they're friends. That's fine. Like it's not. It's not weird like it was before, where like if you were seen on camera at the other company's show or something, they fired you. Like they're just like, there's like, oh, these people have jobs, but they also have friends.
Right.
Is, like if your friend works at, Microsoft and you work at Sony, it's not like you can't associate with each other.
What are you doing?
Because Xbox and PlayStation are mad at each other, right? Like,
and you're just a software engineer that has no idea.
Right.
It's like, what?
You just have a friend who happens to work for Sony, and they're like, you can't be seen with him.
It's the enemy.
Wrestling is weird.
Very, 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 very weird. It is a little off subject before we get to the main event. As we talked about, we talk about it all the time. Like for a business that puts you in the public eye, and they're supposed to be the toughest individuals in the world, and like they'll fight 90 people at one time. They have the thinnest skin.
Yeah.
Like, you might not be able to pick a fight with one of them, but if you tell them that their hair is bad, they'll be like, oh God, no.
Yeah. It's not every wrestler, but it's like a significant percentage of them are like very easily upset. Like it's weird.
It is very weird for a supposed like super macho tough guy.
Because I mean, that doesn't happen to other things, right? If your buddy gets traded to a different hockey team, it's not like you're like, well, now I'm mad at you. You're like, no,
right.
It's a sport.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't like through the media send out like juvenile shots at them. Like, he wasn't that fast of a skater.
Like people who really like to eat salad, who eats salad, right? And you're like, oh man, I do eat salad.
Yeah. Like,
but wrestlers will do that. You'd be like, oh, you know who I really hate? People who say this all the time. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Like it's very weird instead of just like being adults.
Yes. You mean like guys who walk into the locker room and say they're here to help the young guys?
Yeah. Like,
come on.
The weird stuff. People like to like take veiled shots. And that's why and the I guess other things don't have like the wrestling media, which makes all these things
True.
Whereas like they make it a whole thing, right? That like, oh, maybe this guy's mad at this guy. Maybe this guy's talking about this guy. Like it's tiring. It
is, because imagine if like pro sports media was like that. Like you just said, like a guy got traded, and then on Sports Center, you have like one of the commentators like, "Ooh, this just in, so and so for the Pittsburgh Penguins says that the guys from the Philadelphia Flyers don't even know how to bench press correctly." And like it's like, oh no, like why is it breaking news for wrestling when like it is weird.
It is breaking news for wrestling when it's like, oh, this guy says that whoever spends too much time at catering, and that becomes a thing. Yeah, you never hear that in hockey. Like any other sport, you're not like, oh, he was injured and he spent all his time eating chicken wings instead of learning from whatever the adults. Like
yeah. Instead of going to the vets that everybody's so terrified to speak to because they're vets that just used to punch people in the face for no reason. Like, again, it's the weirdest industry.
That's my favorite part. They're like, you have to show respect for the vets, but also don't bother the vets.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Like, again, imagine like another sport, like when Marilyn Mew walked into the locker room. All right, guys, if you guys want, just feel free to ask me anything. Then someone asks him something, he just jumps them. What are you talking to me? Yeah. Nobody asked me.
Didn't you know that this is my time to read the newspaper, and you interrupted my newspaper time?
Yeah, like it's
like that person is crazy if they didn't. But like in wrestling, it's just a thing that you do. Yeah, it's very weird.
Such an odd like we laugh and it's known as like the carny business, but it is such a carnival. It is like not real life in the wrestling.
And like that's why when people get mad, and I get like being annoyed by it or whatever, people get mad when like the companies talk about each other, like when AEW takes a shot at WWE or WWE. Like I get being annoyed at that because like you just want to watch the show and you don't care,
right?
There, whatever. I get it, but like it's such a weird wrestling thing that everybody does that. Like Cody said that thing about like just wanting to help the young guys, and then Jericho had to mention it on TV. Like, what are you guys doing? Like, just come on. Just put on the show. What do you do? Like wrestling has this weird, we have to take shots at them all the time. That's what we do. Like, and I get it.
Yeah.
Like, cause it's a thing that they do, but like it doesn't happen anywhere else.
Yeah, it doesn't.
You don't get traded unless it's like traded in hockey or sign another team and be like, you know what I really like about this team is they play good music in the locker room, not like the last team who played really bad music. Like, nobody does that.
And then it's a thing.
Yeah.
It's like, we only listen to this in the locker. Yeah.
And then the next week, the other team comes out and is like, this is because we were listening to such good music. That's why we won the game.
Right.
But like wrestlers clearly do that stuff. It's very odd.
It is very, and I don't know where that comes from. And like, I mean, it seems that the new generation of wrestlers seem to be like pretty normal individuals.
Yeah, they seem a little bit better than. This is why when stuff like Undertaker comes out and is like, the guys in the back, they're always playing video games, not like in my day. I'm like, yeah, because in your day, you were like trying to kill each other. Like, right. I'd prefer them playing video games.
Yeah, in your day, they did mountains of cocaine and drugs, and they were 30.
And like...
Yeah, and everybody was dead at 30. Like, right. Oh, it's so much better.
There's an entire show on Dark Side of the Ring. Yes. That's about that time and how bad it was.
Right. Yeah.
I think maybe it's because wrestling, like, it's not the case anymore because now everyone is like guaranteed contracts where you get paid like regular jobs. But I think before it used to be like you got paid more if like your card drew more, you got paid more if you sold more tickets or whatever, right? So they had this like weird competitiveness to it where you had to beat out the other guys, and that's still a thing, even though that doesn't need to be anymore.
Right. It's like I always talk about ratings and how ratings don't matter in this day and age. At one time they did, but now it's like there's such a skewed number because it doesn't count if someone DVRs the show. It doesn't count. Ratings
only matter if it's going to get the show canceled. If they're so bad that like the show's going to get canceled, then it matters. Otherwise, it's who knows?
Yeah. Exactly. Because like I said, the numbers are so skewed because I mean, some people use a VPN to watch TV. Some people just use the internet. Like that doesn't even, AEW's numbers could be literally anywhere from less than that. Well, they can't be less, but they could be like skyrocketing through the moon, or they could be just like 10% more than what they are. Like, that's how different they could be.
Yeah. I agree that like I get why wrestlers care about that stuff. Like I get like an ego purpose. You want to be like, oh yeah, the show that I was on got better ratings, and the show that I was on got better. I main evented, and look how many people showed up, right? Like I get that. But again, why do we care? Like I get why the wrestlers care, but like why do we care really?
And again, those are only wrestlers. Like, guys that play on Monday Night Football, like literally like 40 million people watch Monday Night Football every week. And they're not like, our game did a 19.3 demo in the like.
Yeah. Like maybe the owner of the team cares.
Yeah.
But nobody else does. Like,
right. Yeah. Yeah. Like the center's not like, I blocked that guy when 33.7 million people were watching. Like, that's because of me, right?
I think it is because they used to have to, like, they got paid based on that, right? Yeah, like I remember there's all kinds of stories about wrestlers who wanted to be in angles with Hulk Hogan because the shows that he went to sold more tickets.
Yeah.
So you wanted to be on that show because then you all got a percentage of the ticket sales, right? But that's not what happens anymore. So
just a little bit off topic and then we'll get back. Have you watched The Iron Claw yet?
No, I've not. I've heard it's good.
It's very good. It's very good. You should watch it. There's a part at the very beginning. Fritz is still wrestling and he's walking out to his car with the kids and his wife. And she was like, Fritz, why do you like, he bought a new car. And she was like, why did you do this? Why we can barely afford this? And he was like, the promoter said, if I'm driving a car of a rich man, I will be more respected in the ring and I'm going to start to get more main events. And like, to think that like how he was viewed in the public meant that much to how his would be like, booked job. Like he literally went out and bought a Cadillac.
I mean, I kind of get it because like even today it's slightly different, right? Like the wrestlers you like are the ones who you think are like on the internet cool, right? Like if like, oh, this person seems like they have a cool life. This person seems like they're a good person. Oh, they're volunteering, they're doing stuff or whatever. So like, yeah, you don't actually know these people. You have no idea if they're actually good people, right? But like everybody likes that they seem cool online or whatever. So I guess that's the new version of that.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Like people I liked, like when the Young Bucks were coming up, people were like, oh, they seem cool and fun. Right. So then you wanted to watch what they were doing. But it's a weird industry. Very weird industry. We should do an episode on that. How wrestling is just weird.
That would be very fun. We should do that. And before we wrap things up, we still have the main event to talk about. The AEW World Championship. Swerve Strickland defends against Will Ospreay, which, I mean, this match should be illegal in multiple countries because it's going to be so good.
The match is going to be incredible. The feud has been great. I loved it. I loved the end of Dynamite again this week. I thought that was really cool.
Very good. Excuse me.
It made me question who's going to win though, because I've been picking Swerve the whole time, and I feel like I'm still going to pick Swerve.
Same.
But it made me question it because Swerve gets to beat him up at the end of the show. Wrestling logic usually dictates that the guy who does that then loses, right? But I think Swerve's still going to win.
I still think Swerve's going to win too. Going back to how we were talking about the IWGP title. Again, we know Wembley's coming. That's where Will is from. If Will wins the world title in his first year, he has to win it in his home country. Come on.
Yeah, but see, the Owen kind of skews that, right? Because unless he's going to be the mystery opponent.
True. I mean, but like, I mean, maybe you wait a year. That's what I said. Like, maybe you don't even give him the world title the first.
Right. That's true.
8 months of his career. But yeah, that put a little bit of seed of doubt in my head with the way.
Yeah, and I mean that could be why they did it. Obviously,
totally.
But yeah, I think they're gonna Swerve needs to, like, not that he hasn't established himself, because he has, but I think he needs a bit more time to establish himself as champion. And I think that they're gonna go with Ospreay's not ready yet. Like he's gonna hesitate before a big move, or he's gonna like be too cocky, or he's gonna mess up somehow, and that's how he's gonna lose. Like on this week, he messed up because he tried to take Swerve's belt again and thought it was funny. He was kind of laughing, being like, haha, I did it again, and then like you got beat up for that.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be like that. That's the story I think they're gonna tell, that he's gonna make some juvenile mistake. He's going to play to the crowd, or he's going to hesitate, or he's going to be distracted by something, and Swerve's not going to be. And that's going to be the lesson Ospreay learns. You have to be more serious if you want to be the world champion.
That's a great point. Like 100% agree with you. That needs to happen. If that's not what's going to happen, that's what needs to happen.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily I wouldn't be completely shocked if Ospreay won. I'd be pretty shocked, but I wouldn't be completely shocked.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. it wouldn't be like like it wouldn't blow your mind, but it kind of would.
Yeah,
I get it. It's a weird
be surprised. I'm definitely not expecting it. But it's not like if Christian had beat Swerve, I'd be like, wow, I did not think that would ever happen. No offense to Christian, but like there was no chance of him winning that match.
Right.
This, like, there's a chance of Ospreay winning. I just don't think he will.
I agree. And I think they did the Dynamite like plant that seed of doubt because that would be 2 pay-per-views in a row where you kind of knew the main event.
Right.
Because like you said, like we basically knew Christian wasn't going to win that. And, you know, Ospreay just signed and he just won the international, but I think Swerve retains too.
And I like the storyline they're telling with this. Not only are the storyline of like Swerve's more serious and Ospreay's not ready yet, but they're also kind of like this week when he challenged Danny Garcia, he's like, oh, you can put up the international title and I'll be world champion by then too. So like I like his like, oh, he not only is he juvenile in the sense that he, you know, isn't focused, he's also extra cocky when he shouldn't be.
Yeah, he's like you know,
like he's a little too full of himself.
Yeah. Oh, that was such a good. I missed some of it, but I went back and I got to see it because we were under weather warnings, so I had to go back and watch the replay. I missed some of the promo.
My favorite part of that was you sent me a picture of like the screen where the tornado warning was on, and you weren't mad about the potential tornado. You were just mad that you couldn't see Dynamite.
Yeah, I was like, this better get off this. Like, I was angry. Like, I even tried to turn the channel and put it back, thinking that it would like get it off the screen. Nope.
But I love because you weren't thinking like, oh, maybe there's a tornado. You're just like, no, I can't see wrestling.
Yeah, they only told me it was 6 miles away. I guess I had some time if it was headed right towards me. But it was weird that, like, off topic here real quick, literally there was a tornado 6 miles from my house, and like my entire television, like the emergency broadcast system was actually broadcasting. Like, that's how bad it was.
Yeah,
literally there was a couple rumbles of thunder and it was like windy but not like crazy, and all that went away. And then it was like 11 o'clock that night when all the warnings and everything were over. It stormed like the end of the world, but there wasn't a warning in sight. But when there was a tornado 6 miles away, it wasn't doing anything. It was very odd. It was very odd. But yeah, we were all safe. Minor damage. There was like where the tornado was. It was basically, well, not basically. There's a park. And there was just a bunch of trees down, and they just cleaned stuff up in the park, but no houses damaged or anything.
It wasn't like on someone's house or something. That's good.
No, there was. I don't want to say it's woods, but it's also not like. It's not like a huge. It's not like hundreds of acres, but it's It's not a state park, but it's a middle park. Anyway, yeah. But yeah, I think Swerve retains. I think it's going to be an amazing pay-per-view. What do you think they're going to do in July? Like, is Blood and Guts going to be the free yearly pay-per-view?
Yeah, I think that's what they do. I think they kind of make it like, not only are they going to have the Blood and Guts match, but maybe they'll book some other big matches for that show to be like, we don't have a pay-per-view, but this is our quote-unquote pay-per-view. I'm actually kind of surprised they didn't make Blood and Guts. I'm happy they didn't, but I'm surprised they didn't make Blood and Guts a pay-per-view.
And it makes sense because July is the Ring of Honor pay-per-view, and there's only 3 Ring of Honor pay-per-views a year, 3 or 4.
Yeah, and then there's like 2 in a row. There's all in and then All Out like 2 weeks later. So.
Yeah, which
at least it's 2 weeks later now, not 1 week later.
It should be free. Anyways, do you have any closing thoughts before we button it up here, sir?
No. Well, question we always ask: what do you think is going to be the best match of the night?
Let me look. I am gonna go with. I think it's gonna be one of the 2 women's matches, but I'm gonna pick Mercedes versus Stephanie Vacour.
All right, that's a good one. I was thinking it's either of the 2 world title matches or that match. I'm gonna say Swerve and Ospreay. But okay. the 2 women's matches will be the next best 2 matches. I think they're both gonna be really good.
There's, and this is one of those cards, like we always say, like the pay-per-view card, every match is a good match.
Yeah.
So Like
and
it's not like
someone's gonna do something ridiculous in like that ladder match. Someone's gonna fall off something really high. So.
Yeah, that's why I said Darby would probably be involved.
But yeah, he's not like, he's just not even on the show. He's just like, can I just come out and just jump off something?
Yeah.
I just want to jump off something. Just one thing. Come on, just let me do it.
His foot will still be in a cast. He'll jump off a 20-foot ladder onto like a pile of chairs.
They're like, okay, so we're gonna have you jump through a table. No, not a table. What I'm thinking of, just a pile of like pointy debris, just like a bunch of like
shattered Lego.
Yeah, like shattered wood and like twisted metal. Just something that could really hurt me. That's what I want to jump off.
I want there to be a chance to be impaled.
Yeah, and like if there's gonna be like nails and stuff, I want them to be like rusty. And like,
yes. Yeah. I won't have to get tetanus shots. Please.
Yeah. This needs to be extra dangerous. But Darby, you're not even in the match. I don't care.
Yeah.
What match? I didn't even know there was a match. I just wanted to jump off a ladder into some tables.
Into a pile of stuff.
Yeah.
What a human.
Darby.
Yes. Well, on that note, make sure to follow us at Elite City Pod everywhere. Like, share, and subscribe. Help our algorithm, please. Smash the like buttons. First time I ever got to say that.
There you go.
I usually forget. Yeah. So.
And you have to smash it. You can't just tap gently.
Yeah. If you do that, it doesn't work.
That's right.
It gives you a virus.
There you go.
On your computer, not in real life. Just it's not that powerful.
There's someone who thinks it does.
That is true. Yeah, on that note, we'll this was like our this was our second show this week. Hope you didn't get tired of us. Yeah, just enjoy Forbidden Door, and we will see you next week. So
and most importantly is Biddy picked no one, so she automatically loses.
Yes, she didn't even submit Chat GPT picks, which we offered that she could totally do.
That's right. We said if she didn't, her pick by default was Andre the Giant in every match. So
every match. And Jay, it was weird. She picked Armin Tanzarian in every match. Saying, wow.
She really wanted us to use AI too, but we just didn't. But she loves it. One thing we know for sure is she loves AI.
Yeah, that is like, it's Jay's thing.
There you go.
If you know her, you know AI.
You know how much she loves AI. Yeah.
Yes.
Now we'll find out if they listen to the whole podcast.
Correct. That's what I was just going to say. Now we'll find out if they made it.
There you go.
So until then, later.